I want to share with you some of the skill sets that answers that question, why? And the very first one might seem a bit simple. It's preparation. But preparation in my business, unlike any stick and ball sport I know, and the Super Bowl is coming up very shortly, and if a great quarterback has poor preparation and he makes a mistake and he throws a bad pass, he might lose a down. At the very worst, he might lose a game. You have poor preparation in my business at 225 miles an hour, and there's a mistake made, the consequences can be a lot more dire. But when I look at preparation, do you think it's a coincidence that when I do my television interviews on the front of the starting grid at the largest race in the world, the Indy 500, do you think it's a coincidence that right up the front of the grid, I will inevitably see the best painted, best sponsored, best prepared cars right up the front of the grid? And if you look at these pictures, see all the mechanics, they're immaculately dressed. They're standing behind the wings of the car. One mechanic has his hand on his heart, so it's probably during the national anthem. But this group of people here knows that the job list and the checklist has been taken care of as well, or maybe even better, than everybody else that they might be in competition with. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that when I move to the middle of the grid, I see some pretty good teams there, but these teams are already looking forward to teams of people who've already demonstrated they've done a better job? The race hasn't even started yet. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that when I move to the back of the grid, I no longer see as many immaculately dressed mechanics, and I no longer see as much sponsorship on the cars? And if you look at this picture here, there's a mechanic on his hands and knees. He's got tools in his hands. He's got the rear wing off the car. He's actually working on the gearbox on the starting grid of the largest single-day attended sporting event in the world. Now, do you think it's a coincidence? Statistically, the fallout and the failure rate at the Indy 500 also starts from the back of the grid, because it is directly proportional to the preparation they put in before they go against the competition. And the back of the grid is inevitably populated by teams of people who wish things hadn't changed so fast, and they only wish it could be like it was in the years past. It never will be. Probably have all the resources available to them, just didn't avail of them. But there's a double whammy to being on the back of the grid in my business. A, you've taken yourself out of a position of advantage. The double whammy is you've potentially given an advantage or an edge to your competition. Now, what makes these presentations really worthwhile to me is if I thought everybody here took away one nugget. You can take away more, but if you take away one, this might be one of them. But let me ask everybody a question. As regards your preparation for what you do every day, where do you think you are on the starting grid of the race you are now in every day? Everybody will know their own personal answer to that. And if you do not see yourself clearly up the front of the grid, you have the team and the resources available to you to get yourself where you need to be. The closer you are to the front of the grid, the closer you are to emulating those teams of success stories that end up on the victory podium on a more regular basis. So I would love everybody here that on a Monday or a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day you leave your house to go to work, as you latch the door, say to yourself, as regards my preparation, or the preparation of the people within my sphere of influence, where am I on the starting grid today for the race I'm in every day?